Our reading this morning comes from Mother's Word and Father's Word. At Famicon 2018, Mother said this: "During this past celebration of Foundation Day, I asked this question. At this current moment, where do you stand? Do you remember this question? Where do you currently stand? Now, the New Testament age also became an age of the past, and through true parents, we welcome the completed Testament age. However, even the completed Testament age became an age of the past. In 2013, the only begotten daughter, true mother, proclaimed Foundation Day and the starting year of John Il-Guk. Therefore, we currently do not live in the era of the completed Testament age, but in the era of John Il-Guk. And in order to earn your qualifications as a citizen of John Il-Guk, you must fulfill the mission of heavenly tribal Messiah. That is the position where you need to stand." And from Father's Word as a peace-loving global citizen, if we create division by insisting that our own religion is the only path to salvation, we go against God's desire. Read it again. If we create division by insisting that our own religion is the only path to salvation, we go against God's desire. So these readings were chosen by our speaker this morning, Dr. Abdou Rahman Gaye. Many brothers and sisters call him Abdou, but his father would strenuously object to that, because Abdou means servant, maybe even slave. But Abdou Rahman means the servant of God, the merciful, which is one of the many titles given to God in the Quran. So from this you already can tell that Dr. Gaye grew up in a Muslim country of Mauritania, firmly in the Muslim tradition of that nation. But in 1980, a classmate of his introduced him to a very mysterious Japanese man who officially was a correspondent for Sekai Nippo in Nouakchott, Mauritania, but who secretly was sent there by our true parents to introduce the people of that nation to true parents and divine principle. So at the third meeting, he then began to lecture divine principle, which was an utterly alien concept to our Dr. Gaye now. But something touched him in his heart, so much so that he agreed to go to a 21-day workshop in the Ivory Coast. And that taught him that he should give his heart and his life to that new work of God on earth. However, as it happened to many of our missionaries, that mission was betrayed by somebody, and 3 years later the police came, kicked the Japanese missionary and his wife out of the country, and sent Dr. Gaye and 2 other members who happened to be in the home of that Japanese missionary to jail. But with the intervention of some relatives who had significant positions in the government, he was released and allowed to continue his studies. However, he then moved to Somalia, where he received his master's. Senegal. Somalia is very different. Somalia, Senegal, where he received his first master's degree in African literature. He was blessed in 1992 to his wife, who is from Cameroon. And then shortly after that moved to the United States and studied at UTS, got his master's degree in divinity. And then afterward, his doctorate in divinity. Before that, he was even appointed to be a professor at two of the State University of New York campuses near the seminary, teaching French and African literature. And he and 3 other UTS alumni actually began or started the family church of Kingston in the building, the home of an interracial Pentecostal church, which welcomed him and his fellow alumni warmly. And everything was going very well for him until the end of last year. And then things changed in a rather dramatic fashion. First, he was asked to quit his job, more or less, and to go to Senegal to help with the preparations for the African summit, which took place earlier this year. And at the African summit, he was asked to participate in just one of many dinners with True Mother. And at that dinner, True Mother appointed him to become the national leader for the nation of Senegal, which in itself is quite a challenge. But it is far more than that. As his younger sister, Fatou, in her emotional prayer already recounted, because for some very important providential reasons, Mother decided to make that small nation of Senegal the central nation for the African continent. So the headquarters for Family Federation, for the Universal Peace Federation, and also for all other organizations, including some brand new organization, has been moved to Senegal. And at the end of this week, he himself is moving there to begin his new mission as the national leader of that nation, and in some sense, because of that nation's position, of the African continent. After Mother appointed him, a member of the Senegalese church came to him and said, I had this dream where I saw Father calling you out from a crowd of members and appointing or crowning him to his new position. To him, that means that actually Mother on earth works together with Father in heaven. Adieu. He is giving 2 presentations today. The one at our worship service, and after lunch, another presentation in a more intimate setting where you can also ask him questions. But for now, please welcome Dr. Abdou Rahman Gaye.
Can I greet you all with Assalamu alaikum? I hear the right answer in the front right here. Alaikum salam. You know what that means, right? Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. What a beautiful greeting, don't you think so? That every day you meet people, you say, peace be upon you. So thank you, Columbus, Ohio. It's a blessing and it's an honor to be here this morning. And thank you, brother, where is he? I don't see him. Frank? Oh. Thank you so much, Brother Joseph, for that huge, large, and extensive introduction of me. It's like I have known him before. He spoke so much of me that showed like we know each other for a long time. He went back to my dad, who is not on earth anymore, but when he said about my name, it rang like he was here. Yeah, I want to thank him for actually being the one who made it happen with the team of pastors who worked with him to say, let's have Abdou here. I want to thank the community because we have something in common, right? You have raised my sister. You have not just raised her, you have loved her, you have embraced her. So I owe you a deep, very personal thank. And when I say that, I truly mean it. Because Fatou, she's my younger sister, but she's like my baby sister. And you know why? It's like 10 years in between us. It's a little story that I want to start with. And this sermon, because I'm speaking later, I'm sure that some of you may not be here in the afternoon. I want this sermon to be more like stories of what bring us together, you and I. Right? We have something in common. We say true parents. We talked today about true mother more than true parents. But we are a family. And that's one reason why you probably embraced Fatou, like she's one of you. But what makes us to be what we call one family under God, right, today, I think that's what the stories will relate. Personal stories that are really what connect you and I. The presence, the life of God in us. You understand that? How the God of heaven and earth has been part of our life, that you have stories and I have some. And today you have chosen me to tell you some of those stories. But I'm sure that when we sit down together and I listen to you, you will have exceptional, tremendous stories. How the God of heaven and earth, who is our God, who is our parent, who is our father and mother, right, has worked throughout history to bring us to one time, to this time. Hey, this is a great time. Do you feel it? This is a great time. And that will be my conclusion, just where the God of heaven has come from, the beginning of the early days when he created. That mother always take us back there. Father have done the same thing, right? Until today. As my sister prayed, that finally the God of heaven and earth is saying, I can have a nation. That's amazing. That finally, Father prayed and said, God, if just for one day I can put my feet on that land that you can say, my land, then I will be happy. Just one day. And did Father realize that? Just like Abraham, that he said, you can look at the land of Canaan, but you will not get there. That's so amazing. Just like in this nation, Martin Luther King, who said, I have gone to the mountaintop, right? Amazing. And I have seen that land, but I'm not going to be there maybe. But he promised and he pledged. He said, but you and I as a people, right? We will get there. And today Mother is saying, we have a land today. I'm not sure if you want to go there together, if we're going to claim it for God, but there is a land. Actually, there's many lands. It's like a competition. And Senegal happened to be among those. But I'm not preaching yet. I'm taking you back to the beginning now. Taking you to the story with my sister Fatou. Fatou was born, as I said, 10 years after me. Actually 11. I'm not going to reveal her age. The girls in Africa, everybody know? My mother, after giving birth to 4 of us. Thank you. Now you know this is my sister. She knows. In Africa, sometimes you say, this is my brother, this is my sister, and actually it's just cousins. You know that, right? We do that. You say, oh, this is my sister. But when you check, actually it's just a cousin. But we are so close in that family, the African family, we are very close. So we say brother, sister, mom, you have 2 or 3 moms. So she was born after 4. That's like my mom just stopped giving birth. And you know how long? 7 years. 7 years. Maybe dad said, this is finished. We're done. Then lo, Father, oh my God, Heavenly Father, mysterious Heavenly Father. He made it happen that Fatou was born. I'm not going to reveal her age. I'm not going to reveal that age. But providentially, it is part of the 7-year course of true parents. And when she was born, you know, my father, if you can put it in a context, Fatou is like a Joseph in the family of Jacob. Just loved my father. I mean, just loved this girl. And he told us why. Not only Fatou was born after that period of 7 years preparation, like a 7-year fasting, like a 40 days condition that my parents were going through. She was born on a Friday. That's like the heavenly day. That's like maybe the Sunday of Christians in Islam. And that's not all. She was born at the time of the prayer. Yeah, the second prayer of the day. And my father has said the story that when the muezzin, my father was a muezzin. The muezzin is the one who called for the prayer at the mosque. He said, when you were calling for the prayer, then Fatou was born at that time on a Friday. So my father has stated that if this girl was a boy, now listen to this, he would be a saint. My father said that. And maybe that came out without, he actually knew what he was saying, but he stated one day, and Fatou was there that day, and me and some other siblings. He just confessed that Fatou was her best. Oh my God. What father will do that? You guys, what would you feel if you were a sibling sitting among your brothers and sisters and your dad say, this is my best? Oh my God. Come on, Fatou, get out of here. What are you doing? Taking all the love? Put it forward. Years after, when I joined the church, that 10 years in space, Joseph have mentioned I went to Ivory Coast. Here I am. For some reason, I asked for my parents to send me Fatou. I went to Ivory Coast because it is the free nation where you can witness. I wanted to have a revival of the spirit of this church that I very much liked. But Mauritania is Islamic. There is no way you can do what you want spiritually. So I went to the far land. I know Senegal is a border country. My parents may come and kidnap me, as you know about kidnapping. It never happened there, but I thought it's too close. They will come and snatch me. So I went far. I know they won't come there, in Ivory Coast. And I called my sister. I said, send me my sister. And they didn't know why. I say, Abdou is a good boy. If you ask for his sister, it should be a good reason. Let's just send her. But of course, they didn't do it like openly, laughing and say. They were very sad. It's like my father will never forgive me for doing that. And you know why I called Fatou? You guys can guess. I wanted her to join this church. And Fatou was so innocent, just traditional Muslim girl, so young. Didn't ask until one day we were just walking. Abdou, why did you bring me here? And you know what I said? You cannot even believe this. I'm here to brainwash you. And believe it or not, I did not know that in America that concept exists. I didn't even know English at that time. But that's what I told him. I brought you here for a brainwash experience. And she loved it. She jumped. She said, oh my God, my brain will be washed, made clean, neat, renewed. Oh my God. She was happy. I said, yes. Now I know God was speaking through me, telling me that indeed, I'm going to rebuild you. I'm going to clean you up. You are good, but you can be better. The standard of God. That's the story for Fatou. I'm not going to go further. But she got dreams and visions. She's the one, we just finished 3 days, a 40 days condition with my big brother, my elder brother, who is the other one. We are a trinity of members, blessed, all together in 1992. Amazing, right? When my father passed away, father saw my father in a dream with true parents at the palace. Can you believe that? And he was actually against me all the time. He almost hated me for what I did. Quit the Islamic faith, snapped, beautiful, most loved daughter. He'll never forgive me that. But God was telling him, you are one of the greatest in Mauritania. That's why I give you these 3. My mom has 10. But the 3 of us blessed in 1992. Quite extraordinary, right? But God has worked, I'm sure, in those ways in your lives. That's why I'm sharing this story, just to connect you with the grace, the love, the embrace that heaven is doing in our lives, and sometimes we may miss it until you hear the story, and you connect to that story, you say, wow, the trace of God in my life. So your lives, I'm sure, is filled with traces of heavenly parents, working miracles in a way that if you look at it, you say, oh my God, how did this happen? How did I miss to celebrate these events in my life? Now I will go back. I will go to my, where is the first? Where is the first, where do we stand? Where do you stand? That's my sermon. And you heard the reading. Brother Joseph just put it in context and even give it the answer. Where do you stand? So this is from Mother. This is not me. Mother is asking us, where do you stand? And she added, currently. It meant now, right? And she even quoted the message. You say, do you remember during the last Foundation Day speech, I'm asking the crowd, where do you stand? And here in America, to the Famicon, who was at the Famicon? Yeah, you have a good group here. Thank you. Mother asking you, where do you stand currently right now in this providential age? Where do you stand? To me, that question is so dramatic. It takes me back to the Garden of Eden. And indeed, where is Layla? I give her a reading. Where's my phone? Give me a minute. My coat. Mother, not this one. No. I'm so bad with technology that I have a problem to find. That's why I told her to quote it and read it for us this morning. Now I cannot see it. I wanted to put this in context. That when Mother was saying this, she immediately after asking that question, she took us back to the Garden of Eden, to the history of the providential history. And Mother and Father have done that always, to take us back after asking this question. Right, he started his journey, her journey, and she wanted us all to move together with her, back to the beginning. On the first slide, the second one, the beginning of history. God and man meeting. You know, you see Adam, Michelangelo did it so profound. It has to be a vision. You know, one thing that witnessed me when I joined this church, the beginning of Genesis, that's not in the Quran. You don't see it. When God created man and woman, he say, and God created them in his image. Oh my God, that's so powerful. It made me cry. He said, I created him in my image. And he said it again. He said, in the image of God, he created them. Oh my God. And God is saying here, if you don't see me, just look at yourself, look at your wife, look at your husband, and you will see me, right? Then give me the next one. And what happened? And always Mother tells the story. And they fell. And they go hiding from God. You know what is good with this Islamic thing? It's like a handkerchief. You can just use it. It's not very convenient. Indeed, my wife, when we were blessed with pictures, she said, oh my God, he's from Mauritania. Those people are like those clothes. It's like so unfit. She talked about some other things I'm not going to tell you. But she got that image about the Mauritanians. Like, no, not me. But anyway, she's been my wife for 25 years. We have twin boys. One of them just graduated on Friday from NYU in New York. So proud of them. His twin brother stayed with him in New York in medical school in Mount Sinai. So they are very friends, very much friends. Of course, tied in the tradition of our true parents. They make me proud every day. They keep me young. I'm much older than what you see, I'm sure. Joseph knows my age. Just go to him and ask him, what is his age? What is this guy's age? So sometime I will just, this is Mauritania. But I think he explained that my mother is from Senegal, the country that I'm now the national leader. Now the Senegalese people, they almost dread the same, but this is the difference. How do I do this? Okay, let me just take this a moment. Just hold that for me. I'm just going to take this off. Just hang it somewhere, Marcus, for me. Now I'm a Senegalese.
Nice.
Like Mauritania, just too fancy, just like this thing.
I want one of those.
There you have it. Like much more, right? It's like elegant, kind of. And that is why my wife said, oh, Mauritanians with this, always like this. And it's a windy country. So imagine with this thing here, the wind. Oh. And they do it every day. And it will be blown every day, but they will just catch it and they will go their way. But people, it's not about what you wear. They have innocent hearts, those people. That's why I'm here. I'm a Mauritanian by birth. My mom is from Senegal. Maybe that's why God appointed me in Senegal. See, you follow your mom's side. Let's go back here. Hidden. And here, the heart of God was broken. I want to take you back to that journey. And I'm sure that when father and mother refer to the Garden of Eden, they visit the agony of God. So mother came to Senegal among two reasons. One, that she stated. Let's go to the next slide. To liberate the African people. Maybe some of you don't see anything meaningful in this image. Anyone can tell me what is this? Where is mother here? I need a hand. Gaye Island. Yeah, you guys raised, you know the story. And what is this door here? This bizarre door. The door of non-return. Talking about what? What happened here? What tragedy has taken place here in Gaye Island? A terrible history. When God thinks of the Garden of Eden, I'm sure he travels to the Holocaust and he travels to places like Gaye Island. He travels to Egypt, right? I will come back to that. But here, believe it or not, according to data, about 15 million of Africans were shipped from this door to where? To West Indians? I want to hear better. It's part of it. America. Yeah, say it. Say it loud. America. To the Americas, to South America, to the islands, the Caribbeans, but mainly to America. Shipped. When you have those things to look, you can see New York. There is this ocean. From this door, it's an ocean. You can see the Statue of Liberty. That's like when that guy say you can see from Alaska. You remember that? In the political world? You can see Russia. No, it's not that you can see it. But the symbol is that from here, the Americas, there is no land, there is no island, it's a strait. Maybe there's islands. 300 years. This is not 12 years. The Holocaust. 300 years. And connect to the mother. Revisit the mothers who waited for their children to come back from going out to get those dry wood for the meals, and they never come back. I'm sure some of you here have lost a child, and you know the suffering behind that. The worst a mother can have to lose a child. Not only lose a child, but lose it when you don't expect it. In an accident, like I know some of you here have gone through that. Like he doesn't come back home, and you waited, and you get out, you say, where is he? Where is my son? Where is my daughter? For 1 year, 2 years? For one son, one girl? For 100 years, how many people have gone through that? That's why the heart of God has been connected to that history. Let's go to the next one. What is the connection between the unification of North and South Korea and the Africans? Susan, please read this for us loud. Do you want to come here so they can hear you?
I know I have the responsibility to cope with the situations of Asia in order to achieve the unification of North and South Korea, the encouraging motto of this age. I also must make straight the way to liberate African people so that they can restore their capability to lead the world.
Father's prayer at the Twin Peaks, May 24th. It's like 4 days, 25 years anniversary. Now, do you remember the context when Father was praying this? Anyone want to give me a clue? What was happening during this time when Father was doing this prayer, providentially in America? Anyone want to take the risk? Sometimes I like to quiz you, to quiz my audience. Yes, Frank. Marcus. You close. It's 33. It was the 33 city tour. 1993. 1994. 93, it was 93. And here, when Father was praying here, now listen to this. When Father was praying here, he just completed his 12th city portion of that tour. From that day, Mother was taking over to complete the rest, 21 city. Mother alone. Father went to Kodiak. Kodiak is French. Kodiak. I'm still working on my English. I've been here too long, but it's still rough sometimes. Father prayed here, connecting read this prayer. It is profound. It is profound. Father is pleading with God. He's saying to God, don't let me die. before the south and the north of my beloved country is united. Don't let me die. Don't let me die before you liberate the people in Africa. Oh my God, what is the relationship? North and South Korea, you have to be a prophet. North and South Korea unity with the African people. And now separating, telling mother, you take that portion. And mother saying, I went to Senegal because I went to liberate. That's the word she used. To liberate. Can you see that connection? Yeah. The same liberation that was ringing in the heart of father who was praying at the Twin Peaks. 25 years after mother is accomplishing a prophecy in Senegal. Oh, now, wait a minute. No, you're kidding. A Muslim nation? Maybe you don't know that, but Senegal is 95% Muslim. I see a Senegalese lady over there. Hello, Lynette Fall. Her name, Fall, is very common in Senegal. A Muslim country, a black country, and they speak French. So you American will say, no, that's too much for me. At least with speaking English, I will try. But you go there, you speak French, people will say, what are you talking about? You are a Christian, they say, you are a Christian, don't come to the mosque. No, they don't do that. That is where the difference is. That's why God has chosen this nation of Senegal. I'm going to talk about that in the evening. In the afternoon. The providence in Senegal. Why? Why Senegal? Is it a coincidence? Is it just a mother's fantasy? Or just wanting to do something new? Some people are asking, why mother is more focusing into begotten daughter than true parents? I have that answer for you today, if you are asking still that question to yourself. Why is mother still proclaiming her being begotten daughter instead of saying, we are the true parents? Now that is so strong, begotten daughter, that it chases away even one of the children of the family, her own. Why is mother doing that? Is that providential? Is that in the heart of God? That I will reveal. I will share with you. And I want your questions. I want a conversation on that. Why Senegal? At least you know that the president of Senegal received a mother. A Muslim president. You have probably heard that mother preach to that president during the protocol time of 15 minutes, like hello, hello. That mother didn't care about that. She just started preaching and preaching to that president. And wasn't a message with some quotes of the Quran? No. And the people with mother freaked out at some point. You say, come on, mother, you don't do this to a president. But Macky Sall listened. And that was the day before the summit, where we all expected Macky Sall to come. And that protocol around mother was saying, this guy will not come tomorrow. This guy will not make it to the summit because he will say, this is about religion, this is about Christianity, this is not my people. But you know what happened? Macky Sall just stepped to mother and say, mother, this is what this nation needs. Oh my God. It has to be a miracle. It has to be a miracle. Your message of peace, maybe he was deaf during all that message until mother talked about peace. Peace. Islam is about peace, even if there's all these problems. The heart of the Muslims in Senegal, you know what makes it different with all the countries of the world? I shared it with Brother Joseph yesterday.
we have a Muslim based on Sufism. Sufism is the heart. That is an Islam that cares about love, compassion. You know, when the Muslims say, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in their prayer, the first quote of this Quran is all telling about the beauty, the compassion, the love of God. It says, in the name of God, the merciful. In the name of God, the peaceful. In the name of God, who is the God of love. If you recite that 5 times, 10 times a day, and you mean it in your heart, can you be a people who can curse? Can you be a people who can kill? No. You realize that you are the temple of the Most High. Yeah. The Mother is challenging us today. And I am challenging you, and I will repeat that tonight. I want you to be a Muslim. Because in the Quran, God said, Abraham was a Muslim. Oh my God. How? No. The Jew will say, no, Abraham is ours. He's not a Muslim. The Muslims even don't know that. We can teach them what God was saying there. It's all about the heart. Abraham had that much love and faith for God that he was beautiful. He became the father of faith, even for the Muslims. When you say Abraham, he said, that's our Abraham. Well, you can say, hey, listen to this. You say, Abraham was much centuries, thousands of years before Muhammad. How can you say that he is a Muslim? They can't answer that maybe. Because God was looking at the heart of Abraham. And you today, you can say, I'm a Muslim just like Abraham. Can you see that? Say to the Muslim, I'm a Muslim just like Abraham. You say, why? Are you praying 5 times a day? You say, was Abraham praying 5 times a day? You say, are you fasting the Ramadan? You say, was Abraham fasting the Ramadan? Of course not. He doesn't know about Ramadan. So why God is saying he was a Muslim? You say, that's the same Muslim that you find here in my heart. I love God like Abraham loved God. And that is the generation that Mother was talking about. He said the Old Testament, the New Testament, even the completed Testament is the past history. Right? Mother said, those ages are past. Now is the time. Now is the puzzle. Where do you stand? What does it mean to be a citizen of Chenilguk? What does Chenilguk look like? A village or a nation that is called a nation that realized the principle, the law of Chenilguk. What does it look like? A nation where the people have realized something that makes them being the citizen of the nation of God. How do you picture that nation? Maybe we can discuss that in that afternoon session. But Mother is telling us, if you are to be that citizen of Chenilguk today, you gotta start folding your sleeves because there is work to do. This is no prayer, this is no being Muslim or Christian. We have passed that age. This is not about slavery or whatever it is. No, that age has passed. Yeah, God is challenging us today. And you guys want to be a citizen of that nation, I'm challenging you. That's why I want you in Senegal. Yeah, that is one part of my mission here today. That's what I'm sure maybe Joseph didn't share it. May God have just whispered in his heart that night and say, call this man from Senegal. And I will have to be rushed here, but I have some other plan. I say, I have to go to Ohio. It's true, I have my beloved sister here. I have my niece and my nephew. But God has something, a plan bigger than all of them. You see, these people have done something. The people of Ohio, of Columbus, have done something. I want them in this providence. A Jew?
Let's go.
Marcus, I love that. I want to hear more of that voice that say, let's go. You know the last one, the last slide, the conclusion. Marcus, maybe you'll read that for us.
Yes. Exodus 3:7-10. The Lord said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I'm concerned about their suffering.
Thank you. Read 7 to 10 sometime. I didn't want to go the whole thing. But God is saying here, it is ringing in my heart. I cannot take it anymore. Go liberate them. To Moses. And you know, Moses didn't jump and say, oh, let's go. You remember, you know the story. Moses said, God, how can I do that? How can you choose me to do such an amazing mission? I'm sure you are thinking the same. Senegal, come on now. Muslim, black, French, for an American, the people of Ohio may think differently. Because you are a new breed of Americans. A Jew? That's why my sister is here, to brainwash you in some way. People see black, white, yellow, but they say these are all one people, one family under God. A Jew? That's who we are. In the eyes of God, when He look at you, He say these people are not just unification. They are Christian, they are traditionalists, they are Indians, they are Muslims, of course, the Jew, they're all of it. So when people ask you, who are you? Are you a Christian or a Muslim? Say, I am just what you think. Whatever you say, I am. That's why God was so smart. He say, just tell them, I am. Right? Moses asked God, what am I going to tell them who you are? You tell them, I am. Oh, the wisdom of God. Just I am. That's so cool, right? Just I am. You know, and in the Jewish writing of Yahweh, you cannot pronounce the name of God. You know that, right? Yahweh is just a breath. Just take a minute now with me. Just take 40 seconds of your time today. And just breathe in and out 3 times. And think of the heavenly parent. And think of true mother and true father for the 3 breaths. And then just do it profoundly. I'm inviting you to do that now. Just to feel the Spirit of God through that breath. Just to feel it. Feel the Spirit of Father in heaven. Feel the Spirit of Mother among us. Oh my God. God is just a breath. And He wants us to feel Him at all times as we breathe in and out. That's how we become the temple, right? Of the Most High. All the time we are carrying the temple of God. How can we curse? How can we be whatever, evil? It should be no evil in our lives. No trace of evil. No trace of anger. Something that is not of God should never reflect. That's why we have to have that wall of angels. Last night I went out with my nephew and niece around the neighborhood. When I go to my village, that we don't do the things here. My parents, where I come, my uncle, they will say, let's go around to each family and greet them. Oh my God. Traditionally, it was good, but now it's like, no. Home by home, you go to the village, because they are all related, blood related. You have to visit them. Why? Because they're going to say, you came here, your son, your came here and then left without coming to greet us? So symbolically, I have to turn around the neighborhood to greet the whole people of Columbus, to greet the ancestors. Symbolically, the kids who were with me, they didn't know why I was turning around. Like for 30 minutes, went around. Late night, like around midnight, where it's quiet out there, when you can hear like the trees, you know, like God breathing. Oh my God, that emotional feeling of walking in the nature, that's the African people. Nature is so true until now. Relationship is so sacred, so real. And I believe in the power of the spiritual realm. I believe that the ancestors, you tell them now today, and they do. That's how when mother say 430, he says that's not enough. You have to make that just 430, realize each 430, you say, oh, give me a break. Now that's too much. I'm out, right? You feel that. But that's only when you think that you're doing it. If you know that you have the power to mobilize all those spirits, the Bible talks about the cloud of witnesses, Abdou. Cloud of witnesses. They're all ancestors that today when you say, you do it, I need 430. I need 4,300. Oh my God, they do it. I was telling Joseph how I came to that pastor in Kingston. I met him the first time with my wife and said, we are from the Unification Church. When many pastors, they hear that, they say, no, not here. Go out. Many pastors in the Kingston area, until we met that single pastor who said, oh my God, my wife had a dream about Abdou, that name, and we never heard it because they're Christians. But we knew someday, because God said that, and a guy named Abdou will come to you. Please help him. Oh my God. And he talked to his board. He said, these people are from the Unification Church. But this guy who came to me is a Muslim-related person who my wife had a dream about. 2 years ago, he folded that piece because he never heard about Abdou in his wallet, and he brought it out and said, look. And he said, we have to take you because God, the Almighty God, wants us to do it. So you know what God is about to do? Here, God is saying, I'm sending you. You tell them that it is me, the God of heaven and earth, who will lead them out. Moses, I just need your body. I just need your absolute obedience. Absolute love, absolute faith. That's our credo. This is the time to take it in action. Abdou? My conclusion now, 3 minutes. I'm sure I went over the time because that's what I do. I have a problem to just sit in the time because I just speak out of my heart. I came here truly, I think, to respond to what God wanted me to do, to share with you the history of this new providence. God is telling, this is a providence on my hand. It would never come to reality if I'm not behind it. If you put me out, you will see it will crumble down. Same as what happened here. The God of heaven and earth said, the people of Israel, those are my children too. Their cries, I cannot take it anymore. So Moses, go to liberate them. It's not about the liberation of Africa. Anybody here has an ancestor of Dutch ancestors? Yes. English, I'm sure. Americans. There's no American ancestors anyway. You come from one of those. How about Portuguese? Those people and the African people have all dirty hands in the slavery trade. The Dutch, the English, the Portuguese, and the Africans who sold their own brothers and sisters. History will not forget. God will not forget. Mother is liberating that was on that ground still. So that liberation is liberation of all races, actually, symbolically. It is all the ancestors who are linked with something so terrible in the heart of God that when it is released, heaven is like, that's why Father prayed. He said, those two things, and you see today what's happening in North and South Korea, like a miracle. God has to tell us, I am behind it, believe me. So I'm here to just tell you, be the people who can say, I'm going to be part of this providence of the nation of God. Father didn't make it. Mother is here to represent the true parents. And the age is ripe. It's now or never before. It will not happen again, maybe. A nation that doesn't correspond to my criteria of a nation, but God does that. He does those things. So you do just like Jesus. Not my will, but your will, my Father. I will do it. So I want you to put your hands on this providence. I have a black book that I have over here, a notebook that I want pass around. You put your name, you put your address, maybe not your address, maybe your email address. You connect with me, I will feed you on the providence of Senegal. I'm pledging, thank you. I'm pledging, like Joseph explained, I didn't expect to be called for this providence. I happened to be there, and when Mother chose me, I said, God chose me. And that dream just confirmed it, that Father and Mother are working together. There are so many stories that I wanted to share. There is no time for it. But Father said to Mother in a dream before the summit, that this summit will be a miracle. It will take place. So for those who were there, like me, and I saw it, I said, no, this wouldn't happen. There was so many struggles, even between us, the members, between us and the authorities, between us and, it was like so many confusions. At times you would just say, no, this one to go nowhere. But when you have that kind of dream, you say, if God is behind it, I will keep going. That is the power of faith. I will close my eyes and I will do it. It's like Mother said, I'm going to Senegal. It is Muslim. I'm going to preach to that president. I don't care because God wanted me to do it. Because that prayer, when Father was praying it, he was seeing the hand of God to a nation. It was too far away. I will share with you another dream by the Korean National Messiah in the afternoon. That just shows you that this has to be God behind it. So how do you connect to that providence? I want you to support it even if you cannot go there. There's so many ways. But I think the people here have some calling. And I think that's why God rushed me here, so that you can hear from me, not just, Fatu telling you stories, oh, it's my brother, he's doing this and this. I'm sure you would believe her. But I wanted to be here in substance. And I really thank you for your love and grace, so many of you, just embraced me, just like you loved my sister so much. And I have seen it. I have felt it very deep. Thank you for everything. God bless you. God bless you.
Okay, let's take a few moments for silent prayer and reflection.